Will NEET UG end? Central government's decision and future possibilities. Introduction. The National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, NEET UG, is the largest and sole entrance exam in India for medical education, mandatory for admission to MBBS, BDS, and other allied medical courses. Over the past few years, NEET UG has faced several controversies, such as paper leaks, irregularities, and a lack of transparency in the examination process. Due to these issues, students, parents, and opposition parties have periodically demanded its cancellation or reform. But will NEET UG actually end? Let's examine the central government's recent stance and potential scenarios to understand this. Central government's current decision. As of today, April 4, 2025, there has been no official decision from the central government or the National Testing Agency, NTA, to completely terminate NEET UG. The exam date for NEET UG 2025 has already been announced. It is scheduled for May 4, 2025. The registration process for it began on February 7, 2025, and concluded on March 7, 2025. The government has also clarified that discussions about conducting NEET UG in online mode have been dismissed, and the exam will remain offline, pen and paper mode. In 2024, following controversies like paper leaks and grace marks during NEET UG, the Supreme Court intervened. In July 2024, the Supreme Court rejected pleas to cancel NEET UG 2024, stating that there was no concrete evidence of a systemic leak across the country. However, the court directed the NTA to improve the examination process and ensure transparency. Subsequently, the government formed a high-level committee, led by former ISRO chief Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, to reform the NTA's functioning. The recommendations of this committee are yet to be fully implemented, but this indicates that the government is working towards strengthening NEET rather than abolishing it. Will NEET UG end? The demand to abolish NEET UG has been raised by several states, particularly southern states like Tamil Nadu, for a long time. The Tamil Nadu government has advocated for scrapping NEET and using Class 12 marks for admissions, arguing that the exam discriminates against state students. However, in 2020, the Supreme Court upheld NEET's validity, stating that it is essential for ensuring uniformity and fairness in medical education. Currently, the central government's stance is that NEET UG will remain the sole standard for medical education admissions. Abolishing it would require significant policy changes and consensus among all stakeholders, state governments, medical colleges, and students, which does not seem feasible at the moment. Instead, the government and NTA are focusing on making the exam process secure and transparent. Thus, the likelihood of NEET UG ending in the near future appears slim. Will the registration process start again? The registration process for NEET UG 2025 ended on March 7, 2025. Typically, the NTA opens a correction window after the registration period, allowing students to make changes to their forms. This window is likely to open in April 2025, though the official date has not yet been announced. Additionally, in extraordinary circumstances, such as a pandemic or technical issues, the NTA may reopen the registration process, as seen during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. However, no such announcement has been made so far, and given the current situation, it seems unlikely that registration will restart. Will the exam date be postponed? The exam date for NEET UG 2025 is set for May 4, 2025. Historically, the NEET UG date has only been postponed in exceptional circumstances. For example, in 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the exam was shifted from May to September. In 2021, it was postponed from August to September. However, in normal circumstances, the NTA conducts the exam on the announced date. Even in 2024, despite the paper leak controversy, the exam was not canceled. Instead, a re-examination was held on June 23, 2024, for the 1,563 affected students. As of now, there are no indications that the NEET UG 2025 date will be postponed. Unless a major controversy or unforeseen event, like a natural disaster or policy shift, occurs, the exam is expected to take place as scheduled. Students are advised to keep an eye on the NTA's official website, neet.ntanic.in. Suggestions for students. 1. Continue preparation. Don't slack off on your NEET UG 2025 preparation. The exam date is approaching, and preparation is your strongest tool despite uncertainties. 2. Avoid rumors. Misinformation often spreads on social media. Rely only on official announcements from the NTA or government. 3. Stay updated. Regularly check the NTA website and news channels for updates. Conclusion. For now, NEET UG is not going to end. The central government favors continuing and improving it. There's no solid information about the registration process restarting or the exam date being postponed. Students should focus on their preparation and await official updates. NEET UG will remain the foundation of medical education in India, and any future changes would require a major policy decision.